Good day, everybody. How are you? Let's just take a few minutes today to talk about depression. And there is certainly mixed messaging that we get about what depression actually is. Some say it's a chemical imbalance in the brain, and others say it is a result of habitual thinking. Depression, what does it mean to depress something? It means to push down, to hold it below the surface. And this is often the root cause of depression, where we feel that we need to push down or suppress who we are or what we think or how we feel about something in order to maintain a relationship or relationships with a community, with church, with family, with parents. It especially happens that we suppress things as we're in that age of impression between 0 and 10 years old, where we are developing our sense of how we have to be in the world in order to survive. Not who we are, how we have to be. We inherently know who we are. Now, a lot of these experiences where we are told, no, you can't think like that, no, you can't do that, no, you can't say that, we formulate beliefs about what that means about us. What is good, what is bad, what is right, what is wrong, what is acceptable, what is unacceptable. And we end up suppressing our authenticity. And as that carries on into our adult life, we have these patterns where we are constantly suppressing who we really are, what we are really feeling, and it is absolutely a protection mechanism. And it is a healthy protective mechanism in the fact that it keeps us alive during our formative years, where we are where we rely, let's say, instead of on someone else's care to keep us physically alive, emotionally stable, feelings of security, and all the things that we absolutely are genetically programmed to require as young beings roaming this earth. The problem comes when those patterns are not corrected along the way. So we end up with this continuing pushing down of our feelings as a defense mechanism to separate us from our authentic self in a lot of ways, or things that we judge as unacceptable or unworthy or unlovable about ourselves. And when that becomes a mental habit, that is when depression really takes hold. It is an adaptive behavior that starts off to protect our well-being, that turns into, as we get older, it turns into a way to not have to face, to suppress, to keep separate from our conscious awareness the hurts and the humiliations and the judgments that we either receive from others or made about ourselves based on assumptions of what others say, or usually a combination of both. And that's society, churches, families, friends, but it's all through our own interpretation of self-worth. So the real key to addressing the epidemic of depression that is in our society is empowering people to really get to know and love and experience themselves, which means taking that separation, stopping pushing down those feelings and stepping into them with guidance and support in a truly authentic way, that we can process them, heal anything that needs to be healed, and thus become empowered to be authentic in the world. And that is a really quick summary of how we can start healing, like I said, the epidemic of depression that's in our society and in our community. And I invite everybody to start embodying your feelings in a way that you have not allowed yourself, but do it with guidance, do it with support, do it with safety, so that you're not just re-traumatizing yourself and reinforcing the negative and reinforcing the reason why you had to depress those feelings in the beginning. And take today as your thought. If you are experiencing depression and it does become habitual and it does have some chemical components, because our thinking, the way we are in the world, the way we interact with the world, certainly does produce certain chemical components in our brain. But the root cause of depression is generally something that goes far deeper than just a medical situation. And again, I am not a doctor, nor I am telling you or encouraging you or even suggesting that if you are on medication for depression or for your mental health, that you stop or you avoid taking it. That is dangerous and unhealthy, but it is also dangerous and unhealthy to not address the root cause of what your depression stems from, which is the feeling that we need to separate, to push down our own feelings in order to survive in the world. And it is a realistic and essential adaptive behavior for unhealed trauma. So do not try to take this all on your own. It is a long and often dangerous road. I know that I have been on it myself when I did not have the support or the knowledge or even a basic understanding of what that all meant, why I was feeling the way I was feeling. And we're not going to know the why as long as we're suppressing the root cause of what happened. So I encourage you today, if you are suffering from depression, to start taking positive steps in your mental health, which will go beyond just medications and things that you do to adapt your physiology. And let's dive into working with your spirit, working with your authentic self, and healing those trauma loops that remain open that we cannot face, so we suppress those feelings. And that is why so many people with depression, they talk about just a numbness or a lack of feeling. It's because we are depressing those feelings and emotions in order to survive on some level. And our interpretation of that changes as we age, what we are capable of when we are able to support ourselves and our own physical survival. That changes as we get older, but the programs that we've inherited and that we've adapted to often need to be fixed before true healing and deep healing and real, genuine, permanent healing can take place. So just a few thoughts around depression, what it is, what we can do about it, and encouraging you, if you are feeling depressed, if you are feeling numb and separated from any kind of emotion, you will often experience a sadness, but it's different in depression. It's it's always just below the surface of awareness. We just know that something is not right, that we do not feel right, and usually because we do not believe that we are right. And so in today's talk, that is the end of our conversation this morning on depression. And I encourage you not to settle for the status quo, not to settle for just the diagnosis, oh, I am a person who has depression, and realize that you are so much more and you are so much more powerful, and to start engaging in the process of true healing and learning to love and accept yourself, and being able to reconnect with the parts of ourself and our feelings that we push down in order to survive. And let's engage together if you like, and if it's not with me, choose a mental health professional that sees depression as something that goes beyond just a chemical state of being, because it is more than that. I love you all. I hope you find this information helpful. More so, I wish you nothing but the best for your mental health, because when your mental health starts to blossom, you will also find that the rest of your life will start to light up as well. And that's my wish for you for today. I love you all. Have a great day. Bye-bye.